Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome to my spiritual oasis. Here, weary souls come to find inner wisdom and peace. Today, we are going to be doing a pick a card, messages you need to hear from your ancestors. So our messages today are going to be guided by our ancestors. So I have my good old Rootworker tarot deck, and have prepared 3 groups to guide our messages today. So we have group 1 on this side, group 2 in the middle, and group 3 on this side. So if you need to pause the video at this time to determine which group or groups has your message in it, please do so at this time. So again, we have our guiding cards for each group, and then I'll be using tarot to provide any additional messages and any other decks that I am feeling guided to use at the time of the readings. Everything will be intuitive as usual. So yeah, we'll keep this introduction short. Again, if you need to pause the video to meditate, please do so at this time. Otherwise, we're going to just get right into the readings. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to actually start off with our guiding energy. We're just going to go ahead and flip over these 3 cards. Okay, so we have Thinker, 8 energy, and we have Flamingo Spirit, Embrace the In-Between, 8 energy as well. And we have the Clinging, 3 energy, lots of fire energy. Fire, illumination, inspiration, devotion, all consuming passion, regeneration, spirituality, virtue, enlightenment. Okay. So the messages that I am getting right off here from your ancestors, it's this idea of transformation and transition, karma, and pursuing your passions and desires. You know, this card, this Tao card, has a lot of, again, that fire energy, like wands energy, fire energy. But there's something calming about this card for some reason. There's something relaxing about it. So this, to me, feels like fire energy that is being guided in a particular way. So if you're feeling pulled maybe in multiple directions, or maybe you're feeling like really high strung, like, you know, just feeling a lot of energy, but there's kind of nowhere to put it. I feel like this particular card is suggesting that this particular card is suggesting that you guide or transform your passions into something tangible for you. This is also very much so a spiritual and, you know, like a spiritual enlightenment moment for you. I'm feeling like hermit energy. This idea of regeneration comes up with the Ancestors card in the Hoodoo, which is the Death card, which is about transformation, regeneration, like moving or progressing into another phase. And that's also kind of the Flamingo Spirit energy as well. The Flamingo Spirit's talking about embracing the in-between, which talks about transition, transformation, moving from one phase or one thing into another thing. So I'm feeling like in general for you guys that, oh my. I'm feeling like in general for you guys, the primary message is that you are or will be in a state of change and fluctuation. So I feel like that is really encouraging you to be flexible. And I am seeing on the other side of this change, this transformation, the garden here. So the garden is the world, I want to say. Let me not be lying now. 21. Yes, the world. That's right. Which basically says that on the other side of this change, this transformation, whatever it is going to be a little different for everybody, because we are talking about your own passion pursuit. So for everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. I feel like our Tao energy is also talking about inspiration, that you will or have recently been inspired again by something that really moves you. And maybe you feel like there's some limitation because maybe you can't figure out quite yet how to make this idea or this passion into something that you can do more regularly. You know, for example, if it was related to some sort of career opportunity, or you know, like drawing or painting or speaking or whatever the case may be, maybe you haven't figured out how exactly you can make that like your full-time gig. But with the thinker here, the thinker talks about strategy, being analytical and logical. So I feel like using your mind space to help focus your thought or your idea and figure out, like kind of come up with strategies or figure out how you can incorporate whatever this is into your life. And I just have a feeling here that there's going to be a big transformation that happens as you do this. I feel like thinking outside of the box, maybe thinking differently than you or your ancestors have in the past. For example, if you don't have a family tree full of entrepreneurs, this might be some sort of entrepreneurial venture. So you're going to have to think differently than your ancestors, than your family, than your parents, etc., in order to make this happen for you. So with that, there might be some discomfort. You might be uncomfortable, but change, growth, transformation is uncomfortable. You know, it's going to be uncomfortable because we are gathering up new skills. We're tapping into skills that we haven't yet used already. We're thinking beyond what we know. We're creating wisdom, we're creating knowledge. So there's going to be some growing pains, some trial and error involved in that as well. And I feel like Flamingo Spirit is saying embrace that. Embrace the moment of learning where you're progressing from one thing to the next. So our thinker card also talks about taking things at face value. When something shows you what it is, believe it. when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And really like being more logical and less emotional, I feel like is the guidance there with this card, is to make sure to value your thoughts and value the information that you've gathered about things. Keeping it simple is also a message here in the thinker as well, to not overthink it, or especially if you are an air sign or a Virgo, not to overthink things, but do use your logic and your reason to guide you in this particular phase of your life as you transition into this new part of your life. Ooh, I love this. So we have Big Mama here showing up, and that cornbread look good. Listen. Love the Big Mama archetype. I can relate to that so much. Like, it just feels like home to me. All right, so our Big Mama is the sun in Rider-Waite Tarot. Oh man, that cornbread look good. Listen, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Okay. So you have really big, beautiful energy, really, and a lot of majors. 3 majors already. Death, you have the world, and you have the sun. So I'm really seeing big, beautiful, majestic energy, that the divine feminine energy in your family tree is strong, and they are coming with the power, they're coming with the magic, they're coming with enlightenment and joy and hope and all of this really beautiful energy, really encouraging you to push towards your passions and the things that you value. That idea, that moment of enlightenment, spiritual growth, that is what is being encouraged here, and really kind of being lit from the inside out. Lighted up, lit up, lit up. That sounds better. So if you're fearing being successful, our Big Mama here is there to tell you, baby, sit you down and be like, baby, don't be afraid. You know what you need to do. You know what the truth is. You know what the direction that you need to take is. It's just about taking those steps and having faith in yourself, but also in your guides as well. They're not going to lead you astray. I feel like Big Mama energy, that sun energy, is also here to remind you to enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride, each step, to enjoy each step. The ones that are shaky, you're learning from those, you're taking things in good spirits, from a place of joy and a place of peace and a place of learning. And I feel like the sun energy is also about confidence. So the Big Mama archetype, and or the person who actually exists in your family who is that archetype, she's confident because she's been around, right? Big Mama knows she's been made mistakes. She's had to, hustle and make ends meet for her family. And now that, she's kind of in this elder role, this nurturing kind of motherly role here. I know the sun it's like divine masculine energy, but in this particular tarot deck, a lot of the big energies are very feminine, and it shows like the very robust side of feminine energy, which I really love. But yeah, she's confident. And she's the one that gives good advice. She's the one that tells you to stay positive. She's the one that tells you to use your head and your heart, because these are the things that, you know, God, universe, spirit gave you to make your decisions. And you're not going to make the wrong decision. You're going to make the right decision. You know the truth. That's what the thinker is about. The thinker is kind of like judgment to me. Not judgment, sorry, justice. Feels like the justice card to me. Okay. Yeah, a lot of really beautiful energy from your ancestors. So we have the 5 of Knives, which knives is equivalent to swords in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So that is about conflict, you know, mental, especially in the mind space. So for, like I said, overthinkers, if you're an air sign, if you're Virgo, strong placements in an air sign or Virgo, so sun, moon, rising, in Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, or Virgo, be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful that, like, that inner warfare, you know, the overthinking, the overprocessing, spending too much time in your headspace can be difficult, can produce difficult results for you. So focus more on, you know, just like, what's your initial thought? What's your initial gut reaction, your initial thought? And we also have the 7 of Knives, which is about thieves and you can't. And that could again be you. You know, are you stealing away your own thoughts, your own dreams? Are you over processing things? Are there people around you that maybe are unsavory, don't necessarily have your best intentions at heart? So just being mindful of that, and, like, you know, people that'll smile in your face and stab you in the back. So just be mindful of the company that you keep, the people that you keep around you. And again, your mental space, because I'm feeling like with all this fire energy, this idea of this passionate energy, this fire energy, transformation, transition, world at your fingertips, to me tells me that I'm feeling magician energy here, that you are in a really heightened place of manifestation. So being mindful of your thoughts, being mindful of how you speak to yourself, what you are affirming, and making sure that you're focusing on what you want in your life and not what you don't want in your life, because you are in a place of manifestation, you're in a place of change, you're in a place of transformation. So keep a sunny position, stay optimistic, use your mind, but don't overthink things, and make sure that the people in your camp are dancing with you and not against you, you know? So I love this imagery because, you know, I feel like, you know, our primary person is the person that's on fire. That's kind of you. That's your energy. And then this card is a 3 too. It's a number 3, which is about, you know, friendship, companionship. Really talks about kind of your friend space and the people that you keep around you. And the figures that are adjacent to our primary energy, they're dancing with her, you know, which I think is really beautiful. And I love that message. All right, group number 1. So these are the messages that I've channeled for you today. I certainly hope this was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to drop a comment. Let me know what resonated. Click a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the Kindred family. Would love to have you. Please also follow me on Facebook if you so choose to do that, and check out my Etsy shop where I curate content there to help you on your spiritual journey. So all the way from personal readings to Book of Shadow sheets and other, you know, messages you need to hear, all sorts of stuff. And I'm always adding things as well there. So thank you so much, beautiful soul, for your time and energy today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our guiding energy, which is actually our Tao card on the bottom. So we have the taming power of the small. Self-restraint, self-sufficiency, careful preparations, resourcefulness, minor impediments, and adaptability. We have our masculine and air energies kind of working together. We have a little spider building a web. The taming power of the small. There is another card in this deck that's the taming power of the great. So I love this idea of small but mighty. So this reminds me of, well, we'll just flip over the other cards. So I was going to say, this reminds me of the mouse spirit in the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. It's like paying attention to the details, the little things matter, they're going to make the difference, that sort of energy. So let's just keep looking at your guiding cards here. So we have message in the bottle, message in a bottle. Okay. Very interesting. And then we have the peacock spirit. Let it shine. I think it's really interesting here that it feels like the peacock spirit and the taming power of the small is kind of contradicting each other. But what I am sensing here is that, to me, where they kind of cross paths and where they make sense together is this idea of detail. So if we look at the peacock, you know, at first, you know, you look far away and you see this great display, lots of color, and it's just kind of distracting and showy. But if we get closer, we see detail. All of the detail. Look at the detail in each feather. And it is the detail, in fact, that makes the display beautiful. The intricacy of the detail. And that's what I feel like the message is. So I feel like this could be talking about, you know, instead of looking at things just as you see them, thinking about like zooming in, looking a little bit closer, getting a closer look. So whether something looks good or whether something is questionable, making sure to zoom in there, get into the little things and see what the substance is behind whatever it is. I feel like that's also about your own show. I feel like you have worked hard, and I feel like the peacock spirit is about celebration, celebrating your accomplishments, not hiding yourself or making yourself small, especially if those around you might be small. Like, don't shrink yourself to, you know, fit into a dark space. Let your light shine, be bright, because for the people that are with you, they're going to see and know the intricacies, the details about the work that you've done and the things that you've accomplished along the way, and that this big moment for you didn't just come out of the blue. It's not luck. It is, you know, luck. I always like the phrase when the word luck comes up, where preparedness and opportunity meet is luck. I love that because, you know, in order to take advantage of an opportunity, we have to be ready for it. And being ready talks about preparations, which is what our taming power of the small is about. That's one of the key words, is preparation. You know, so if you have people around you maybe that are, you know, a little negative or small-minded, don't sweat them. You know, if you have something to celebrate, you celebrate with the people who are happy for you. Celebrate for the people who have your best interest at heart and who are going to celebrate with you. So be mindful of your friend space and the company that you keep. Make sure it's quality, not quantity, all of that good stuff. And then message in the bottle to me, you know, this card is all about communication. It's also about a sign or signs. So if you're seeing numbers repeated over and over again, be paying attention to that. It's also talking about pointing the way to your highest good. So again, paying attention to signs, like whether that's repeated numbers or your dreams, especially if themes in your dreams are repeating, I would say pay attention to that as well, because messages are coming to you. Communication from spirit is opening up to you. Especially if you're asking for guidance, be paying attention to that. So symbols, omens, different things like that. I also feel like this card talks about positive news. It talks about communication with those around you, with people, with hearing good news from people around you. So this could be like a promotion or some other kind of celebratory good news. I'm getting the message like a new human being added to the family. So whether that's directly to your family or like a close relative having a baby. It's also a confirmation too that you are in alignment with your purpose and your passion. The message in a bottle. Again, paying attention to the little things, preparing yourself for the opportunity so that to others it will look like luck. But you know what luck is because we literally just talked about it. Again, I love that definition of luck. I don't like that. I don't like when people act like, you know, just because you're being showed favor that you didn't do anything to earn it. I think that's ridiculous and frustrating. All right, so wow, right on point. We have a couple of things popping out here, but we have Black Herman, which is the Magician card. It's about manifestation. So I feel like that's right on point with our other conversations already today. This idea of manifestation and that you are in a place and space of manifesting what you're after. With the peacock spirit, I'm getting this idea of preparing for opportunity, the message in a bottle, good news is coming your way. So you're definitely in a space of preparation. So with the Son of Knives here, I always like to, you know, this is that page of knives energy. Sometimes our, you know, pages, especially this particular representation of the Page of Knives, talks kind of about being mindful of your words, that, you know, cutting words or being frustrated or angry and using your words to like cut people down and to, you know, just to like get your point across. And I feel like with the message in a bottle, which is about communication, just in general, being mindful of your thoughts and being mindful of your words. You know, our Son of Knives is like a young, you know, immature, I should say, immature, not necessarily young in years, but young-minded, sort of immature mind space. So being mindful of your thoughts, being mindful of what you say and how you talk to people as well, is very important right now for you. And then we have John Horse, which is Emperor energy. So I feel like John, the message here in John Horse is to take ownership, to take authority, to take a leadership role in your life. I feel like it could literally, because we're talking about promotions and advancement in the career space, it could be talking about you taking on a authority position as well. So we have Gemini energy present. We have Aries energy present. So that could be your energy or someone close to you or coming into your life. The Five of Knives. And the Son of Sticks. So I feel like the Five of Knives, you know, knives is equivalent to swords in this tarot deck. And that Five of Knives is really about mental warfare as well as difficulty in communication. So I feel like the message there is to be mindful of your thoughts again, which is kind of what we said with the Son of Knives. Be mindful of your thoughts and being mindful how you talk to yourself and your mind, and being mindful how you talk to other people. What you think and what you say is very critical right now, again, because you're in manifestation mode with our Black Hermit, our magician energy. You're manifesting your thoughts. So be mindful of that. And then with the Son of Sticks energy, our sticks, that's our wands energy, that fire energy, and our suns are our pages. So, also called knaves in some decks as well. But I feel like our Son of Sticks energy talks about being unashamed of who you are, youthful vigor, talk about idealistic energy, creativity, enthusiasm, and being solution-based when you approach problems, and fearless. There's also an independent sort of energy to our Son of Sticks as well. But kind of on the underside of that, like being unreliable, indecisive, and some selfish tendencies as well. So kind of being mindful of those things with our Son of Sticks. But I feel like the message here, whenever I look at that Son of Sticks energy, to me, it's about kind of it's almost like having an optimistic, energetic approach to life, pursuing your passions and your dreams unabashedly, being unashamed of who you are, the skills that you have, and showing off like who you are. So I feel like it's kind of a connection to that peacock spirit, and just this like unashamed confidence that you have about who you are, what your talents and gifts are, and you know, just like how you're approaching life in general. But just being mindful of some of the like the pushy, sort of indecisive energy. Again, you know, our John Horse is that Emperor energy, that Aries energy, which also has a tendency towards, you know, being overbearing and some selfish tendencies, wanting things the way they want things. So just being mindful of that if you are a fire sign or have strong fire sign placements. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus in a fire sign. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And being mindful of your thoughts. So I feel like our Son of Sticks is all about positivity and confidence. And I feel like that type of energy is what you need to manifest what you desire. So like paying attention to the messages that are coming your way in various different forms, whether they be, you know, with you know, signs, numerology, different types of omens and things like that, in your dreams. So if you don't already have a dream journal, this would be a good time to start one, and paying attention to your dreams, especially reoccurring themes. Be mindful of your thoughts, because you are in a place and space of manifestation. And the overall overarching energy of the conversation is to be prepared for opportunity. I feel like our sixth energy in general is about opportunity. So being prepared for that opportunity, which means paying attention to the details, the small things, because some people will just be the, you know, from afar they will be the flashy person, but you want to be the person who is also intricate. When you get closer to the details, you are that intricate, deep sort of person and energy. You're not just shallow or surface level. Celebrate your accomplishments as they come. Do not be ashamed or afraid of celebrating yourself and your talents. Be mindful of your thoughts and the company that you keep around you, making sure that they're on your team, that they're fighting with you and not against you. And, you know, taking authority and ownership over your life and the direction that your life gets to take. So I'm really excited for you, group number 2. A lot of really big, beautiful energy coming your way. That's actually in the form of the smaller things, the details. Like, don't skip over the details, especially if you are a fire sign. Fire signs have a tendency to think bigger. So I feel like the message here is, you know, tapping into your, you know, even if it's difficult to do, getting those details right. The details matter right now for you as you are affirming your thoughts and the things that you want in your life. Pay attention to the details and how exactly you're wording these things, how you want them to come your way, being very specific. Details. Okay, so group number 2, these are the messages that I have channeled for you. I certainly hope this was enlightening for you and helpful as you move forward on your destined path. If it was, if something hit home, please do leave a message and let me know what resonated. Click like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a part of the family. Please also make sure to connect with me on Facebook if you so choose to do that. And check out my Etsy shop where I curate content there to help you on your spiritual and life journey. So thanks again so much, beautiful soul, for your time and energy today, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're going to go ahead and start off with your guiding energy, which is our Tao card on the bottom. Work on what has been spoiled. Healing, correcting past mistakes, making repairs, cleaning up corruption, restoring balance, and taking the responsible action. Ooh, that's deep. Okay, so we're not holding back any punches today, Spirit. I see you. All right, so let's see what other messages we have. Fork in the road. Bee spirit, sweet results await. I love this. I love that the bee spirit showed up because I feel like overall the message here is right now Spirit is saying you need to focus on your own house, your own heart, your own spirit. Going inward, that hermit type of energy, going inward and really processing through things. So I feel like your ancestors really are telling you, root work is going to be really important part of, this phase of your life, digging deep. For some of you, I'm getting the message that there's a lot of past stuff that needs to be worked out and worked through. So I really love the imagery for this card because it shows like this desolate, burned out forest, and this person is planting a new tree there. So, it's a few messages that come with that. And I feel like one of them is, sometimes we look at the burnt out forest that in this metaphor represents our existence, right? So we're looking at our past, we're looking at the burnt out trees and the devastation, and we feel hopeless sometimes. We're like, how the heck can this be something beautiful? How the heck can this grow into something beautiful and meaningful? And I feel like despite the overwhelming odds, it is our duty to plant that tree, right? To plant the first tree. That first tree is the beacon of hope. It tells us and shows us that it is possible to grow, to go beyond our current place and space, that healing is possible. Sometimes in our healing journey, what we need is hope. We need to know that it is possible to heal, to move on from this place and move into another stage of life, which is that fork in the road. I feel like right now you have the opportunity to choose whether or not you do the work, you repair the damages, that you correct the mistakes, that you clean up the corruption. You're kind of at a place where you can decide to do that or to ignore it. And the outcomes to ignoring it, I feel like you already know what that's going to be. There's going to be more of the same, right? So that fork in the road also talks about that it's time to make a decision. And I get 7 of Cups energy off of this. Maybe some of you have been waffling a little bit or dabbling a little bit in trying to right the wrong, but then kind of backing away from it, probably overwhelmed at the amount of work that needs to be done. As you make your decision, thinking about the consequences of each decision is also what that fork in the road talks about too, and owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. So you know what the right decision is to make, and I feel like it's very cleanly laid out in this message that work needs to be done, some deeper work. So whenever I see the mountain symbol in the Tao Oracle, it talks about, that it's like hermit energy to me. It talks about going away, meditation, healing, self-discovery. It really talks about doing that work kind of on our own, digging deep in ourselves, making sure our heart space, our head space, our spiritual well-being is healthy. Like that we're good there, that we're healthy there, and our physical well-being as well. But again, the message for you guys, a lot of healing needs to take place right now, and you're kind of at a fork in the road whether or not you want to take on this mighty task. I feel like a lot of you understand that the life that you want is on the other end of this precipice. And some of you kind of want to skip, right? You're here and you want to just jump right to the beast spirit, those sweet results, that abundance. But we all know that you just can't do that, that there are steps that need to be taken to make this sustainable for you. The thing that I really love about this energy here and the process of how these cards are laid out as well is that we know that putting in the work, we know that doing the hard things, the tough things, those challenging things, we know that is going to lead to positive change in our lives, that is going to lead to those sweet, beautiful, abundant results that will last. And we don't have to look over our shoulder and wonder when the Wheel of Fortune is going to, shake things up on us. because we are grounded, we are connected, we are in alignment with our life's purpose, we are on our destined path, we are not allowing fate to jerk us around anymore. We're taking ownership of, you know, the work that needs to be done. And I feel like it's that ownership that's going to make all the difference. You know, this card is a number 9, so it's a number 18. It reduces down to the number 9. And number 9 is all about change. It's all about transition and transformation. So I feel like that is definitely the place and the space that you are now. And I see with our 7 here, our 7 is, you know, it's the sign of that spiritual search, that spiritual world. It's about digging. It's about the truth. It's about analysis. And I feel like doing that work, digging deep, planting those trees, watering them, and then allowing spirit to grow them, you know, providing the nutrients and the soil and all these different things to grow these trees, that your forest will be, first of all, you'll put the work in. So you're going to really appreciate the outcomes better, you know, and respect them more because you had to work for them. And it's sustainable, right? You're planting trees. You're not picking fruit from someone else's tree. You're planting your own tree, which means you're taking that one seed and turning that into an abundance of seeds will come from that, planting that one tree. So just being mindful of that fixing and healing and correcting and repairing, you know, 1 or 2 places in your life, those are seeds that are going to bring about a bountiful harvest. So it's not a 1-for-1 deal is kind of what we're getting at here. Yep, I knew Miss Robinson was going to come up. Miss Robinson in this deck is equivalent to the Devil card in Rider-Waite. So again, talking about righting those wrongs, you know, releasing that devil energy, freeing yourself from that. You know, if you are, you know, you have, you know, the Devil card could talk about literal like addictions, addictive behavior, unhealthy relationships with other people. I mean, there's a plethora of areas that it covers, but the general kind of idea is that it talks about freeing yourself from negativity, negative behaviors, negative places, spaces, and people, freeing yourself of addictions in order to bring about that prosperity that you're looking for, that happiness and that joy in life. I feel like the Devil card tells you that you have the key, you have the power, you just have to take ownership of it. And it's not going to be easy, right? Because these addictions are addictions for a reason. It's not going to be easy. Just like the, you know, that work on what has been spoiled is not going to be easy. But the outcome, the results are going to be well received. So we have our John horse here, which is the Emperor energy. So taking authority, taking control, taking a leadership position in your healing and your growth. You know, John horse also talks about you know, it also represents Aries, so you could have strong Aries placements. But I feel like just tapping into that Aries energy. Like Aries is not afraid to dive in, not afraid to take the lead. In fact, Aries prefers to take the lead. And I feel like that energy is what you need right now in order for you to, you know, move forward and get to the, you know, get to those sweet results that we're after. Ooh, strength. Yep. It's gonna take strength. And not the physical strength, not the aggressive strength. It's going to take that soft, that inwardly strong position. We have Big Mama, which is the sun energy, abundance, beauty, happiness, joy. You know, I feel like Big Mama is just kind of shining the light, you know, like she's the hope in the situation. You know, this is going to be tough. This is going to be challenging. Digging down deep is difficult to do. It's challenging. And I feel like, you know, the strength card is saying you have the strength inside of you to do this. You can do this. You got this, boo, you know. And Big Mama's like just spreading the light and the beauty onto the situation, saying that here's the hope, you know. We're kind of in the darkness over here. And then Big Mama's like, there's hope. There's, you know, you have the energy of your ancestors. You know, they're rooting for you. They're on your side. They're surrounding you. You're surrounded with love. You're surrounded with positivity. But you're also surrounded with real, too. You know, reality. Reality is there are some things that need to be cleaned up. Reality is that your ancestors, the universe, spirit is there for you. And at the end of this, on the other side of this, is going to be those sweet results, that bounty, that abundance, not only in the physical world, but also in your spiritual life. You're going to be in a place of peace, a place of joy. You're going to be able to really lean into the bounty that is produced from your work. And then our Mother of Coins is the Queen of Pentacles energy. So that nurturing, that nourishment, and I feel like this specifically is talking about your physical self, like taking care of your physical self, making sure you rest, understanding that this is going to be trying and difficult and exhausting, and to not leave behind your physical well-being, and that in fact leaning into your physical well-being and nurturing and nourishing yourself physically, taking time for yourself physically is actually going to bring about you know, it's going to move the process forward, because I'm getting the message that some of you just like, you know, you just don't or haven't been really like respecting your own self. You know, you've been too focused on other things, other people, pleasing people, other things like that. And I feel like the message here is taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit, you know, even as you move into this next phase. So this healing isn't about you beating yourself up. You know, yes, you're going to have to acknowledge where mistakes were made. Yes, you're going to have to, you know, lean into some discomfort and some uncomfortable situations so that you can move through them, so that you can put them behind you. And even like ill feelings, you know, just wanting bad for people, you know, that sort of energy has to be left behind too. Like if people did you wrong and you're kind of harboring that negativity, you have to release that. So I'm feeling like for you, group number 3, because again, this is a general reading, that forgiveness is going to be huge. Forgiveness for yourself. So the things that you've done, again, if you're connecting with any of those past like addictive situations, or, you know, vices. I feel like addictions also talk about vices. So if the word addiction maybe is a little too you can't vibe with that word, think about vices. Like when you're in a place of desperation, like what do you go to as a quick fix? I feel like this process is about leaving behind those quick fixes and finding a permanent solution. Because those quick fixes are just that. They're band-aids. Like putting a band-aid on a gaping wound doesn't stop it from bleeding. We're going down to the source. We're stopping the bleeding. That's what we're focused on right now for you, group number 3. And I always like ending on a positive note here. Like there's a lot of deep stuff that we're moving through for you guys. But the bee spirit, the strength, the mother of coins, big mama, all of these really positive, uplifting energies is your ancestors telling you, you got this. You have all the tools at your disposal. That sun energy, the strength that you need. You have everything that you need, the power and the authority to take ownership of your life, to make positive change in your life. You just have to make the decision to take on that leadership role and to roll up your sleeves and just dig into the muck and just get it cleaned out. Because the end results of this is going to be, you can't even imagine, the beauty, the prosperity, the bounty that's going to come from the work that you put into this. So group number 3, these are the messages that I channeled for you today. I certainly hope this was uplifting and positive at the end of the day for you. Yes, there's work to be done, but the fruits of that labor is going to, I can just see you smiling already at it and thinking that it was worth the effort. And this is you. This is your life. You're putting in the work and the effort into your own life and to your own prosperity and bounty. So yes, this is so worth it. You know the right decision to make. You know which road to go down. So yes, please do drop a comment if something resonated. Let me know. If you connected with the message and kind of what's next in your path, like what's the first step that you're going to take. If you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. I would love to have you a part of the Kindred family. Also, make sure to click a like on this video. Check out my Etsy shop. There I curate content to help you on your spiritual and life journey, all the way from personal readings to Book of Shadows content, to messages that you need to hear quick, fast, dirty, and in a hurry. All of that stuff is there on my Etsy shop, and I'm always adding new stuff there. So check out my Etsy shop and connect with me on Facebook if you so choose to do that. That's kind of where I am in communication with you beautiful souls. I let you know when I post YouTube videos, when I post free general 3-card readings on my website, or when I add content to my Etsy shop. So that's really like my communication hub there on Facebook. So thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in an upcoming reading. Bye.